One rollerblading magazine had a contentious start, crawling out of the remains of rollerblading Bible, Daily Bread.
Daily Bread was stolen, dude. Like, that broke my heart. I would have never given up.
They've been going since 2006 and released 27 issues in 19 years, so dropping slightly more frequently than a calendar. They've always had detractors, and since digital media has taken over, people see them as less and less relevant.
I think history on its own isn't enough of a reason to make you the legitimate one.
There's been 3 incidents recently that make them seem further and further disconnected from rollerblading culture. Award results that ignore an arguably objective winner and suggest their voters are overlooking substance. An ego-driven Times Square billboard ad that isn't quite what they're presenting it as. And a swipe at a community-funded prize pot for male and female skater of the year, claiming it was never an efficient means of rewarding skaters.
Justin was, again, one of those bad seeds. Like, the guy was so negative, and I would just be like, oh my god, like, this guy is such a downer, you know, like.
And we're going to get into all of it. All the stunts are performed by professionals. Don't attempt this yourself. First up, One's award results. And it's not completely One's fault, but
people like Coldplay and voted for the Nazis. You can't trust people, Jeremy.
The best event contest performance just completely undermines the validity of their whole awards. Like, this is the one that should have been as close to objective as possible. It shouldn't have been about opinions, it shouldn't be about my opinions, it shouldn't be about anybody else's opinions. Like, objectively, Julien Cudot had the best competition performances last year because he won the most and beat both the other finalists multiple times, and they never beat him. But Jeff Dalnas has won with 59% of the vote, almost double Julien's. The whole post is a bit of a comedy and just makes a mockery of the whole thing. So first, the picture they're using to celebrate Jeff having the best contest appearance performance is from a competition where he came second. So he didn't even win that one. The first competition they've got listed for as his record of achievement for that year, the Windy City Riot. Again, he came second, but even better than that, Julien Cudot won that and beat him. Viva la France! The third comp they've got listed in his record of achievements for the year, and I think it's the first one outside of America, was the World Skate Games, where he came 9th. There was 8 other people better than him, and he's apparently the best has the best contest appearance performance. Again, Julien Cudot beat him there and came first. Game over, man. It's game over. Why don't they use a picture of a competition he won, and why don't they just list the 5 competitions that he actually won? Probably because then you'd have to list the 9 that Julien Cudot won. So that's 9 competitions across the world. There's bigger competitions in there, there's more competitive competitions in there. He beat Jeff Dalnas twice. Even Frankie Morales, who Jeff skates for, said Julien should win this. Even ChatGPT says Julien was the best competition skater. It's not even that Jeff was bad, he just clearly wasn't the best. This specific award was like a litmus test for One voters, and they failed One.
It will henceforth be the official policy of
One Mag voters
that there are only 2 genders.
Jeff Dalnas and American. It would have looked better for One Mag and for Jeff if Julien had actually won this, but now it just compromises all the rest of the results. Imagine winning 9 football games, then beating a specific team twice, but that team that only won 5 games, that you beat twice, then is given Team of the Year, wins the league somehow. The thing is, it just exposes One's voting pool. 59%, over half of the voters, ignoring substance in favour of their favourite, is not what you want from awards. Interestingly, the other awards he won were around the same percentage, so it's the same people with the same mentality blindly ignoring what actually happened. They don't give a shit what happens.
That is one big pile of shit.
If he would have been listed in Product of the Year, he would have won with 59%. One also hosted Jeff's 2024 end of year Insta edit during the voting process, and no other skaters that were in the vote. Of course you'll get some favouritism, but when it's 59% and it's not the obvious winner in the one that's closest to objective, the scales have tipped over. It's a win that comes with a loss of credibility for the award, and then puts into question all the other awards as well. Awards are meant to acknowledge who was the best, but also give a clear indication as to what the standard is to be the best. And to quote One, with these awards, the Blade community determines a benchmark of agreed upon standards to carry forward, that standard being we don't care what actually happened, apparently. If you ignore that, If the award doesn't do that, what's the point in it?
0-2. Here he comes and strikes him out.
Anybody with common sense will see that like this is just completely worthless. And one mag just keep teeing up the silliness for me to welly. A month after announcing their awards, it was a sudden whiff of desperation floating over the Atlantic. After 14 Bladers of the Year getting next to nothing, Jeff Dalnas has a 15-second vid on a Times Square billboard that seems fine, but when you scratch beneath that surface, it's a bit of a different story. For a kickoff, according to a lot of the rumours I'm hearing, he paid for it, and it seems like a pretty big display of please believe these awards mean something. They are legit, and I am the real skater of the year.
You've got to believe me. You must believe me.
Which Jeff has been trying to convince people that ones are the real awards since he found out he wasn't in the finalists of mine. But based on recent comments like, one magazine is irrelevant and does nothing, no one cares about one mag, one magazine SOTI is mostly irrelevant for obvious reasons, one has dropped the ball and done the bare minimum to stay relevant, and loads of other comments echoing the same sentiment, it seems like the culture don't agree with him. There's a lot more to that part of the story as well, but we'll cover that later. Quick question off the bat, what's Chihiro getting? Are one gonna fly her out for her billboard, or are one only rewarding the men? Which would be a little bit of a strange look. Or maybe it's because it was just all Jeff Dallas's idea. One are giving it the biggin in the article as well, trying to convince you this is massive. Like, listen to this. Arguably one of the busiest and most trafficked locations in the United States. Remember that. It's a perfect high-profile platform to showcase blading and give Jeff a huge high five for his accomplishments. Jeff's promo edit ran as a 15-second loop for about 5 minutes, starting at 11 AM on Thursday, February 20th. Just keep a log of that time and date. Just a quick Google search of the quietest times to visit Times Square in New York. So first of all, work week, say a Thursday. The quietest hours are 1 AM to 6 AM and then 10 AM till 11 AM. And then what's the quietest time of year to go there? January and February.
We have a winner.
One literally picked the quietest time to go there ever. That morning it also happened to me 21 Fahrenheit, which for people in the UK and for places that use Celsius, that's -6. Who is out in those conditions? That is Baltic, man.
I'm freezing my nuts off.
And one are trying to twist it, going arguably one of the busiest and most trafficked locations in the United States. That might well be true in summer, but not when you posted this thing. It's like stating the World Cup is the most viewed sporting event on Channel 1. So we decided to run an ad 6 months later on a Thursday when everybody's at work. I wouldn't have been surprised if Jeff was wearing one of those like human billboards that said like one mag skater of the year, or had one of those giant arrows that like people spin around in the air, flip it upside down and stuff like that. Have it pointing at himself going, one mag skater of the year. I bet he's the kind of person that makes his race wear t-shirts that say I'm with skater of the year with an arrow pointing to him, and he's like, make sure you stand next to me at all times, like. But people actually fall for this. They don't even question it. Again, just exposing like one mag and Jeff Dalnas fans mentality. Imagine how many kids saw that and told their parents they want blades. Absolutely zero. Look at the pics. There's not a single kid in sight. There's like 18 people max in the busiest pit. No one looking up. Most probably all late for work, thinking, why is this man standing there in a t-shirt in February freezing his nut off, trying to convince people he was enjoying it? Everyone else is in scarves, hats and puffer jackets, wishing they weren't there. Seriously, in every pic it looks deserted.
Where the fuck is everyone?
This is New York after Thanos snapped his fingers. It's like a scene from Scent of a Woman or I Am Legend, which ironically Jeff is trying to convince people he is. That is the face of a man who is freezing cold. I was joking about the t-shirt before, but they've actually made one, and I think this is more mental. It's Dalnas standing in front of a billboard of himself that he's allegedly paid for. This is like narcissism on a god complex level.
Everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was, a god.
They didn't even use a pic where it looks mildly busy. Who on earth is buying this? It's print on demand as well, so like one don't even have the faith in their product enough to actually hold stock of it. Who's going to have faith enough in them to buy this thing? Like, who's this money going to? Like, all $5 that you might get from this? Like, the one profit off that, like, even if they did only get a $5, that would be more than they gave Skater of the Year.
Got him! Got him!
This will undoubtedly create lifelong skaters that have kids who walk by this so damn cool. We got to celebrate the best of the best like this more often. Undoubtedly, no doubt, lifelong skaters off a 15-second video. Are you a yoga instructor? Because that's a fucking stretch. Are you Dalsim off Street Fighter? Because that is a massive reach. That is purposely jumping in front of a car to try and get hit for the insurance type of claim. Any kid walking by will do exactly that. They will just walk right by it, desperately like searching for that M&M shop, like cursing their parents out for bringing them to New York in February rather than the summer. And if by chance they do look up at it, they'll see a 40-year-old man rollerblading. That's hardly relatable. The video will just be followed up with another 15-second video of somebody's dog doing a backflip, and the kid will be like, can I have a dog? This is once in a lifetime bucket list type shit. $40 will buy you 15 seconds of fame on one of Times Square's largest billboards. Potentially 5,760 different videos in a day. Real once in a lifetime stuff. That feels very accessible. It's cheaper than a set of 4 Dalnas wheels. Oh, Richard! You can do it all via an app. This article says it's not for showing ads. It will be showing your own personal videos. People are using it to post like their TikToks or like a silly picture of their dog or like celebrate somebody's birthday. Like, that's what people see its worth as. While one are trying to convince you it's high profile. It's on par with getting your picture at Splash Mountain. Actually, I take that back. Doing it at Splash Mountain would have been more creative. It's a personalised card from Moonpig, acting like it's rare when it wasn't even the first time blading was on a billboard that week. Make that twice blading was on a Times Square billboard. I had an image of Ryan Gillette's City Life up the same week. How coincidental. Adam Kohler, famed photographer. Somebody asked, how much did that cost? Maybe that money could have just gone to Jeff for winning. Just saying. Dalnas replies, some things are just better than money. Exactly what a person would say if they didn't win the money. And normally a phrase like used for moments that you haven't directly paid for. You know, like the beautiful natural wonders of the world, like a waterfall or a sunset. Even spending time with your family on your birthday, that kind of stuff. Not a billboard ad that costs like $40, which people are using for like TikToks. I mean, is it really better than winning $4,500 and being able to just buy the billboard yourself as well and have money left over? Think about all those things you could buy with that money that are just better than money. Damn. One is playing chess, not checkers. Mate, one are playing dot to dot when the rest of the world are playing Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. One are frantically trying to catch up with somebody they called an imitator, which is ironic because they're a poor daily bread imitator. It took them 15 shotties until they found one with a big enough ego to go, I'm going to pay for a billboard. You write an article and make it look like it was your idea. I paid £7 for a couple of novelty checks that got more likes, and both the male and female winners literally get more out of it. If one are all about bringing recognition to standout people, events and brands in the blading that elevate themselves and enrich our community, and you think Times Square is the perfect high profile platform to showcase blading, why not use your winners announcement video that had Chihiro in it, you know, showing the world more than one person? Why not use the opportunity to promote the youth for a bit more relatability? But then again, one don't even have an award for the youth. It seems pretty clear to me that's not what this billboard was about. If it was about promoting and showcasing rollerblading to a large audience, they could have just like fronted up more money and had the ad playing at a more popular time. Plus there's plenty of other, more effective ways to push rollerblading out to larger audiences. You could have just stuck an ad in a phone box or like taken out an ad in the Boston Globe. If you've seen Jump Street's episode, Who is the Real Skater of the Year? They talk about relevancy.
Relevancy and visibility matters, you know?
Yeah.
Tom's out there a lot. You're looking at something that's been done, there's a history behind it versus something that's objectively more relevant to the culture at this time. I think history on its own isn't enough of a reason to make you the legitimate one. You have to also continue to contribute and be active, kind of not just like, it feels like sometimes they're not doing the most that they can do.
A quick look through the comments and you'll find plenty saying that one just aren't relevant. Now allegedly, Justin was raging when he found out about my novelty checks.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
Which adds to their billboard coming across as reactionary and a kind of lackluster attempt to try and bring value and legitimacy to their awards and themselves, but all after the fact. And the only people buying it are Juan and Jeff fans. It's trying to make up for a lack of relevancy. It doesn't recognise females right now. It doesn't cover up a voting pool evidently not interested in substance, which removes value from the awards and makes this billboard seem even more ego-fueled. It doesn't compare to a community-raised financial bonus. And because of all those factors, it doesn't motivate and inspire people, which is surely like one of the main points of an award. It's telling that people think one mag find me a threat. If the skaters you build your content around are motivated to win an award, say by it coming from a media source that's seen as more relevant, has a cash bonus, and other key figures are saying,
I think it's really going to change the landscape of what this next year is going to look like in terms of output from like pro skaters or the talent in skating, because people are going to be people who are in the conversation, those like 15 to 20 people who have the potential to be skater of the year, they're probably going to be going harder.
You benefit from that. One mag benefit from that because there's more people putting out content that they can repost. Everyone benefits from it because we just get more skating. It's only a threat if you're just concerned with yourself over what's good for the community and culture. A video of one person skating for 15 seconds during the quietest time of day, within the quietest time of the week, at the quietest time of year, on a billboard everyone knows anyone can post any old rubbish, potentially being followed by a 15-second video of Aunt Doris's teeth falling out, doesn't really serve the greater community or anyone, bar the ego of the person who's in the video, and me and the people I've been talking to as well, because we got a bit of a laugh out of it. And one just keep digging a hole for themselves. They recently put out an article called Should One Start a GoFundMe, but just say they won't do that. And it's about why they don't have a prize pot, which people have said seems like a dig at me, but it's kind of more of a swipe at the community, and also just reaffirms what we've been talking about so far. It opens with a bit on the subjectiveness of rollerblading and the controversy of competitions. And then they say deciding that winner by letting people all over the world vote, and it becomes exponentially more controversial. And now all this madness will determine the fate of thousands of dollars of prize money. What could possibly go wrong? Well, so far, nothing went wrong. The community raised the money, voted for their winners, and neither Chihiro or Sean are controversial winners. They then suggest people have been arguing over who deserved it more and that people were robbed, but the only controversy and talk of people being robbed is surrounding one, notably Julien not winning something he was objectively best at, and the surprise that Dalnas won Sotti when people either didn't consider him at all or definitely wasn't in their top three. They then say they want skaters to get paid, but they've never thought a prize pot was an efficient way of doing it, and instead like, did your favourite skater get a pro model skate? Buy them. Is your second favourite skater coming to a competition near you? Donate to the prize. Did your third favourite skater put out an amazing video for free? Buy the VOD anyway. All of these are much better ways of getting money to the skaters who deserve it, and allows these made up awards to remain a fun way to celebrate the accomplishments of the past year. Saying made up awards is completely dismissive and trying to suggest that these awards don't mean anything. Yet they also say with these awards, the Blade community determines a benchmark of agreed upon standards to carry forward, and use language like enrich the community, bringing recognition to standout people, showcasing the best, putting winners on a high platform. So does it mean anything or not? Because it sounds like you're just contradicting yourself to put down a community-driven prize pot. They also say they want the awards to remain a fun way to celebrate the accomplishments of the past year. So when they say accept no imitators, they have an issue with other people having fun awards. Like, hey, slow down, like, we're the fun ones around here. Is there a ration on how much fun we're allowed to have? I hardly think one mag are the epitome and symbol of fun in rollerblading.
Justin was, again, one of those bad seeds. Like, the guy was so fucking negative that I didn't want to hire him in the first place. And I would just be like, oh my God, like this guy is such a downer, you know, like.
Interesting that Mushroom Blading, who are definitely considered more fun, said, accept all imitators. Listing these other options in an article is just kind of patronising, as if the people who chose to donate didn't realise they could do these other things. Like, it's not a go at me, it's a swipe at the community who donated. Pro model skates are generally the more expensive skate to buy. Not everyone can afford that, so maybe donating a $5 to a SOTI prize pot is more accessible and people can still feel involved. It's very similar to donating to a comp prize pot as well, which is something they suggest, but like with SOTI, that's a year-long competition. That's a year long of like content that you're getting potentially out of it. Like buying VODs, yep, I've been an advocate of that. A SOTI prize pot offers another option to support and loads of benefits beyond just the winners that want to purposefully overlooking. Yep, Sean and Chihiro are the only ones that got paid this time, but this then motivates skaters for the next year to push harder, which means we all get more content to enjoy. That's more promotion of brands and rollerblading in general. There's more chance of non-skaters seeing it and wanting to take it up, which means a potential increase in the size of the revenue pool for rollerblading. The prize pot may even bring people in when they find out about it if it grows big enough. The community care more because they've literally invested in it, which means those people are going to watch the edits more to see what's happening, which means more ad revenue. They get pushed in their algorithm, more people see them, there's more discussion and more focus on rollerblading. Like, people feel like rollerblading is alive. It's another avenue that allows people to support if they want to. It doesn't stop them doing all these other things. And if you look at any of the conversations around the SOTI community-driven prize pot, it's all been positive. Well, bar this article and like people being upset that they didn't win and then trying to claim that like the money doesn't mean anything. So the full story behind this comment from Jeff saying one of the real awards and mine aren't. Every year for the last 3 years I've had city awards, and I also tack on like kind of irreverent pictures for each award. Now when I posted my reel announcing the nominations were open for my awards, he shared it to his followers, which would have meant he's seen this picture for worst fit. Nothing mentioned at the time until he realised he wasn't in the final nominations. But he then decided he had a problem with the worst fit pick because he thought it was aimed at him. It's a picture of Justin Bieber, man. But that inspired him to go on a rant on Facebook, and it turned into a little bit of a pile-on and people slagging me off. Then he also posted a story about it, and it came to light his brand Blade Supply ripped off the logo of Brixton Supply, so that's why he thought it was aimed at him. I've never heard of Blade Supply before, and I didn't know they used that logo on their hat. I'm also pretty sure the picture he used put in the same post as Bieber is an older picture, and he's trying to suggest that I knew about that picture and that pose as well. Like I said, I DM'd him and told him he got the wrong end of the stick, and he called me a little bitch. Which suspiciously is the name someone used to keep themselves anonymous in a one mag comments thing. Tom Moyes is a little bitch. Shut the fuck up, Tom Moyes, blah 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 blah. When I see you, I'm going to fucking slap you. Which I think is a little bit over the top for a picture of Justin Bieber. That then led to this comment, which was in reply to why is Dalnas not on here. Somebody said, does not do practice rails. I warned him he would not get Skate of the Year unless he did. Just completely overlooking the finalists being Cameron Talbot, Julien Cudot, Alex Brosco, Leffy Van Rijn and Seba Sufferheld, plus Sean Kelso, who was the only person you could conceivably consider a P-rail skater, and that would only reflect a part of his skating. He's out there doing MBDs and doing tricks that probably won't be replicated. Imagine the kickoff if Sean wasn't included in the SOTI finalists. Then Jeff jumps in, this isn't the real Skate Awards, this is Tom's Opinions and Followers Awards. One mag has the real awards. We'll see what happens, which is an important part we'll come back to later to as well. Anyway, Tom's Opinions. That's a lie. I don't vote on it. It works the same as like one mag's, like open nominations and then it's open to the public to vote for their winners. So that's not true. And also, followers. Jeff is forgetting that he shared the nominations reel, the announcement of it, with his followers, so they would have seen it and they're quite free to vote for it. Also, what makes it even more funnier is that everybody who's come out in defense of him here and is trying to back him up and stuff like that, they all follow me as well. Your followers are in my DMs, man. Now this "we'll see what happens" line, I've had it on good authority from various different people that Jeff was telling them a similar thing and was saying stuff like, make sure you watch what happens in the One Mag Awards. Now, I'm not suggesting it was a stitch up or a fix or anything like that, but he was like kind of heavily suggesting that he was going to win that way before the announcement was made. It then makes that best competition appearance award even more like dodgy. Anyway, I've seen a few people saying it'd be good to have a single award that we could all focus on.
In the common tongue, it says one ring to rule them all.
I don't mind how many awards there is. I don't mind at all if like One Mag continue to do their thing. Like, it's totally up to them. Like, ultimately, the culture and the community decide like what has the most value and what like has the most legitimacy. So just leave it up to you lot. It does say a lot though that somebody who doesn't really like my stuff and once said it'd be cool for me to break my neck is coming out in support of me over one. Endless thanks to my Patreons and channel members. As I always say, I couldn't do this without your support, and like I genuinely mean that. This just wouldn't be happening without your support at all. So endless thanks, like I just said. Here's a couple of other videos you can watch until I'm back again soon. Spotty Dog,